Welcome all, Bern here from EWPRO. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. So now let's get into the weekly outlook. Looking at the DXY on the daily, nothing's changed. I'm still looking at some sort of a B, C here, a flat before we get another one down. It's very slow in here. H4, you can see how choppy this is. It's not really looking all that impulsive, this move down here. We're starting to get bullish divergence in here as well. So ideally it does go and break all the lows. But other than that, the only way you can really buy is a break above this top here and a bullish setup, and then you could look for a buy. It's really just scalping. Ideally, this does come down, break the low, and then we get a bullish setup to buy. AU, we're looking for a little bit more upside here, up to this 100 fib for this A, B, C. We were looking for a buy on this. We had this nice impulse here. We had the correction in here. It wasn't all that large, but yeah, we got a complete correction in there, and it's gone up and broken the top. Now you're just pretty much scalping if you're not in it already. You have to wait for a little flag here and before you can buy. And yeah, at this stage it's just scalping. I mean, I would be targeting this 100 fib here, but yeah. GU, there's a couple of scenarios here, like I've gone over. This could be a flat here, and we get an A, B, C in here before we get the larger A, B, C. Or the second scenario is this is all the correction, and we go up and break the top from here, but I don't really like that scenario. You're pretty much buying up the top of the market. H4, we're waiting for the wave 4 to trade this wave 5 up. It's a waiting game. We got to wait for this time factor, and then if we get a buy set up, well, then we can look for that wave 5 up. EU on the daily. This one already hit the 100 fib with that A, B, C. Hit that 100 fib there. This was very choppy on the way down. Down in here, we had this in here. Got a nice impulse up. This was quite deep, this correction here, but we're in this wave 3. We're waiting for a wave 4, and then we trade a wave 5 up. Very similar to GU. Pretty much waiting for the time factor here before we look for that buy for the wave 5. I'm looking for this A, B, C here. Just have to up to this 100 fib. If you've been following me for a while, you would have known that I've been looking to buy this. It was one of the better ones I was looking at. If I can get my internet to work. So this one here, we were looking for a buy as well. We had this nice impulse up. We got a correction in here and looking to buy. You could also look to scalp this if you're not already on it. But yeah, I got in, I don't know, around here somewhere. So I'm at break even. It's broken the top here, so I'm at the break even. I might get a chance to add because we on the H1 we got a nice impulse up here, and we're starting to get a correction in here as well. So I may get another entry here, add to my position. If you're not in it, wait for a correction in here. and you could look to buy. And like I said, I'd be targeting this 100 fib here. That'd be my first target. That 61.26. GY's gone, starting to go too far, really. Change this from an A, B, C up to that 100 fib to complex correction W, X, Y, X2, and then we get that Z up. Pretty much have to wait for this X2. If we go down to the lower time frames, I believe we do have bearish divergence. Getting a lot of bearish divergence in here, so it starts to get risky. I mean, it's only given buy setups. You sort of have 3 down in here, impulse up. You could look for more upside. Just scalping though at this stage. It's just scalping. We're going to get a lot of bearish divergence once this top's broken over here. So, you've got to be pretty careful buying right up the top of the market. UY is very similar. I'm looking at all this as a correction still. And then we get this A, B, C in here. So I am looking for downside, but again, like GY, it's just not giving us any sell setups. We're looking for this C up in here. We had this nice impulse here. This was a very deep correction, so I was just looking for an A, B, C. It went a little bit further than the 100 fib, but that's fine. I'll just see if we got a bulk hidden on this on the lower time frame. At this stage, we do. So you got to be very careful selling here. Between this low and this low here, we have a bulk hidden. So this can go up and break this top here. And if it doesn't go break that top, I'd be expecting a rather deep correction to this wave here before we get another one down. So we'll see what happens. I'd be more interested in the sell than the buy. But yeah, there is no sell set up on it. USD CAD, we're looking for this wave Z down. Ideally, it comes and breaks the low here. I mean, it's too late to get into the sell. We're still in this wave 3. I've been waiting for this similar size correction of this wave 2 over here in this wave 4. But it's kept on dropping into this wave 3. So yeah, ideally we get some sort of a nice correction in here and a wave 5 down. But yeah, on the sideline at this stage, waiting for this correction. You could look to scalp into the buy, but again, there is no buy setup on it at this stage. For the buy setup, I'd want something breaking this top here, giving us a nice impulse up in here, and then a correction. And then we could look to buy into that correction. USD Swiss franc, looking for all this to break the lows. Ideally it does, and then we can start to look to buy for longer term because we'll have 3 down then. Okay, and there's really not much to do on this until the lows are broken. I mean, even this is looking corrective. You could look for scalp short, but it gets very risky. I mean, there is a bear hidden here, but we don't trade it when it's like this. I can't go into why, but Yeah. There is a possible bear hidden there, but you got to be very careful. Ideally, it does come down, break the low, get another wave down, impulse up, bullish correction, and then we can look to buy for longer term. This is pretty much what I'm waiting for, and then I'll jump in at longer term. EG pretty much not doing anything on this, like I've gone over for quite a while now. After we had these five up, I'm looking for a larger correction. There is a bull hidden in here as well, between this low and this low. There is a bull hidden in there, but again, you got to be very careful when you're buying this. We are getting bullish divergence on the H4, so that's a good sign. I'd pretty much be going right down onto the lower time frames and waiting for a nice impulse up. Ideally, this breaks the low here, and then we get a bullish, high, and then we can look for a bullish correction to buy. WTI, we did come down and break this low here. If I zoom out rather than zooming in. So overall, I'm looking for this A, B, C. But in the meantime, we do have this on the lower time frame, this H4, what I've been looking at for quite a while. We had this impulse here, looking at all that as corrective for an A, B, and we get a C up in here. You can't buy this, we have this bear hidden here, so this more than likely will give a bearish flag or correction in there, and we'll come down and break that low. And then I'd be looking for this A, B, C. That bear hidden there. You got to be very careful buying at this stage. Gold right up the top of the market. It's keep on going. Really not much you can do, and the only thing you can do with this is just buy with the trend, scalp. It's scalping with the trend. That's all you can do at this stage. Ideally, I'd like to see, a nice bearish setup. I'm more interested in a sell up at these tops, but there is no sell setup. You're pretty much just buying. It's risky. It's just scalping. So yeah, you're just buying with the trend, scalping at this stage until we get that sell set up. Silver's pretty much the same. We're waiting for this B wave here. Got a nice impulse up. We need this B wave. And again, it's very similar to gold. You're pretty much just scalping on the lower time frames, going with the trend. Yeah. Bitcoin, we got that nice impulse down. We're just waiting for a correction in here, and then we can look for that sell for at least 3 down. Just waiting on this correction. That could take, some time to happen. H4, we are looking for a 5th wave down here. It's very slow in here. Ideally, it does get to it, at least go and break these lows, but this is your first target and your second target, that 123.6 and the 161.8. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see any sell set up in here. So yeah, be very careful getting in on it at this stage. S&P 500. We're getting more upside. We're just about up to that fifth wave. Well, the second target in that fifth wave on the weekly, that 161.8, we're just about there. I mean, we were looking at this flat here after we had this nice impulse up here. We got an expanding flat here. And you're either on it or you're not. I mean, it's already going up and broken the top. So, you know, if you're on it, you could look to add buys, you know, with corrections. But yeah, if you're not on it, I'd stay out of it. Yeah. Sort of looks like we got a expanding flat in here too on AU 200. You've got to be very careful here. I mean, extremely careful. This is starting to look very corrective. I had this flat in here for an A, B, C. Well, it is starting to turn motive. So you could look to buy this. Again, I mean, you got to be careful because we're right at the top of the market. But yeah, you know, I'd need some sort of a 3 waves down after this impulse here. I'd need like nice 3 waves down and then a bullish setup on the lower time frames, and you could look to buy. But yeah, pretty much scalping at the top of the market. Same with gold and silver. The FTSE right up the top of the market too. This hasn't given a correction. H4, we're looking at that a B, and we get a C down in here. And then, you know, we can look to buy. We got a bullish setup over here, but we need this C down. So there's really not much to do on this at all. Excuse me. There is no sell setup on it either. So at this stage, there's no sell setup. So yeah, I'd pretty much be staying out of it. Lastly, the DAX. This is one that can go. If you remember over here, when we were getting this one down, we also had that bull hidden here. So we were looking for this to go up and break the top. It's done that, and now it's given us, well, it's given us a complete correction. We've got an A, a B, and a C up in here, and an A, B, C. So we have a complete correction. So I'd be looking for that A, B, C. I dare say there is a bull hidden in here. On the lower time frame. No, there's not. But yeah. You can really only excuse me, you can really only buy this. I'd be looking at, you know, some sort of a correction in here. So we got an impulse up. Got a nice impulse up. We've got some sort of an A. We're getting some sort of a B. If we get a C wave down, some sort of a flat, well, then you could look to buy to go and break the top. But yeah, you really need a nice C down and a bullish setup on the lower time frames before I'd even attempt to buy this. So I hope you enjoy your New Year's celebrations, and I'll see you out there next week.